What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing a car that is very near and dear to my heart. This is a 2009 Acura TSX, and this was the car that I had before I had my Pontiac. So for the backstory on this car, I bought it in June of 2020. I'll put a picture of when I actually bought it at the bank. That was in its somewhat stock form. The only thing that was done to it at the time was the wrap. I bought it for $6,500, had 112,000 miles on it. I owned it for 2 years, and honestly, it was a pretty good car to me. Didn't have any issues. It never broke down on me. It was really reliable. It's really slow. It's a slow car, I'm not going to lie. But I sold it in March of last year for $8,500. It had 125,000 on the clock, and I used that money, and I also had a supercharger kit for the car, and I sold that as well. I used that money for the down payment on the G8, and then about like 6 months later after that, my girlfriend was looking for a car, and I hop on Facebook Marketplace, and I see this thing listed again for $8,500. So I hit the guy up, and I told him, hey man, I already know everything that's wrong with it, you know, so I'll give you $6,000. And he took it for $6,000, and we got the car back, and now it's her car again. So it's really awesome to see this car in the driveway again. I mean, I love this car. It's so slow, but I don't care. I mean, it was so good to me. It's honestly a really fun car to drive. So for the mods on the car, it is obviously wrapped. This is Avery Dennison satin black. It's an absolute pain in the ass to keep clean and take care of, but once it's all cleaned up, it looks pretty nice. It has this MV tuning front Mugen bumper. It's not a real Mugen bumper, but it looks a lot better than the stock TSX ones. I love the way it looks. It's really mean and aggressive. A little banged up because of the wrap, but you know, whatever. And I have these little cosmetic headlight eyebrow things, just makes it look a little pissed off. Then for the wheels and tires, these are ESR SR07s, 19 by 9.5 plus 35 all around. Wrapped in Federal, I think they're called Street Evolution tires. I'm not too sure if those are the actual name of it, but Federal is the brand. These are 235 40 R19s. I also have that Power Stop drilled and slotted rotor kit, as well as the brake pads. The car is tinted to 15% all around except the front windshield. That one I didn't get tinted. I have this little eBay duckbill spoiler on it. It's held up pretty good. It's just 3M. For suspension on the car, it is lowered on some BC Racing BR coilovers. They're not the most premium thing in the world. The ride can be a little harsh sometimes, especially with big bumps, but overall they handle really well. The car doesn't really have any body roll anymore, so in turns and twisties, it's pretty fun. Alright, so under the hood, bear with me, I know it's a little dirty. This thing hasn't been cleaned under the hood in a while, but it has this K&N Typhoon air intake. This is the first mod I did to it, and I loved this mod because it made the VTEC crossover sound 10 times better. So it has that on it, and then there's the BC Racing coilovers. And if you look under here, that is an RV6 catless downpipe that is mated to a RV6 catless test pipe, and then that goes to a Greddy Catback exhaust. I'll put some sound clips of the car right now. And I really love the way this car sounds. It doesn't sound like a normal Honda 4-banger, you know. It's not raspy, it's not loud, it doesn't really drone at all. It sounds perfect to me for this kind of car. Alright everybody, so heading into the interior of the TSX, everything in here feels really nice, even for today's standard. This is a 2009, so you know, there's a couple of blemishes. We have this seat here, leather peeling up, and then on the side, this is peeling up. It's pretty common for the TSX to do that. Also right here in the door handle, peeling a little bit. But other than that, I mean, this feels pretty nice and premium in my opinion. We do have, this used to be silver from the factory, but it was wrapped carbon fiber when I got the car, and I think it looks really nice. This is the base model, so it comes with just the normal head unit. The tech package gets the navigation, and to me it's not worth it because it's navigation from 2009, so you probably won't be using that anyways. And if you wanted to swap out the head unit for like an aftermarket double din, it is a lot harder to do so on the tech package. So if you're looking for a TSX, I recommend just get the base model. If you come down here, we do have the 5-speed automatic. You can get the 4-cylinder in a 6-speed manual. And if you're looking at TSX for like a performance car or like just a fun daily to a mod, get that, because this thing, it's not the worst thing in the world. I've had cars with worse transmissions, but this one is like significantly less fun than a 6-speed manual. So it gets the job done for our needs, but if you're looking for one, get the 6-speed manual. Coming down here, we have a nice cup holder area. It's a little dirty in there, so sorry about that. Nice little storage in here for the center armrest. The back seat is a little bit cramped. I have way more room in my G8, but this one gets the job done. The seats have pretty thick bolsters on it, so when you're going into corners and stuff, it hugs you pretty well. So for the interior of this car, it's pretty nice. I really like it. Alrighty guys, setting off here in the TSX. This ride is very comfortable. It's really smooth. If I had better coilovers, it'd probably be even a little bit better, but still not bad as it is right now. As again I said, I'm sorry for the windshield crack. One day it was just a chip and it got so cold outside, so I don't know how that happened. Well, first thing I'm noticing compared to the Pontiac is these seats hug you in a lot tighter, which is kind of funny because, you know, the G8 is supposed to be a performance car and this thing's just supposed to be a daily cruiser, comfortable luxury car, and this feels more sporty with the seats anyways. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of a pull for you guys right now to show you honestly how slow this thing is. Alright, so right now foot is to the floor. And they're 60. It just takes so long. So I'm not gonna cookie cut it. It is a slow car. It's not fast by any means. I've had plenty of times where I've tried to have, Altimas, Maximas, Corollas, Camrys, Accords, even other Civics have all pulled up to me when I owned this thing and wanted to race me, and I lost every single one of those races. I've never beaten anything in this thing, and again, that's not what it was really made for, but it's still pretty embarrassing sometimes. So they do also make a V6 version of this, and I bet that would be pretty fun. It's probably a little heavier, but if you could get that and test drive it, I wonder how that would be, because I bet that would be a little bit quicker. But if I were to ever try to get myself a TSX again and I'd want to actually build it, I would get the 6-speed manual version and then get my supercharger kit back, because I bet that would have been a blast. But the G8 was just too good of a deal. I saw it pop up and I was like, oh, okay, well, see ya, TSX. Alright, so going around this corner here, my favorite thing about this is how well it handles. Like that, it took that like nothing. Now, here's the slow part. Foot's literally to the floor right now. So again, not quick by any means, but if you were to take this to a track, I bet that'd be a little bit more fun because you can get through the twisties and turnies, a little bit better. But maybe into the mountains. I should have taken this to the mountains, but never had the opportunity to. I guess now I still can because it's in my girlfriend's, but I think the G8 would be a little bit more fun there. On this road right now, it's pretty bumpy. It's alright, it's manageable, but it's not the comfiest. I think my G8's a little bit smoother of a ride than this thing, but that could be due to the coilovers. I have them set to pretty soft right now though, so it is pretty wavy, but not the best. So there is an S mode here. It doesn't stand for sport. common misconception of this car. That does not stand for sport. It is like, I think it stands for sequential shifting, and if you throw it into it, all it'll do is it'll let you use the paddles, but not really, because I tried downshift there and it wouldn't let me. Shifting is pretty delayed. Sucks this thing only goes up to 5 speeds, you know, I mean. It doesn't drone at all with this catback setup, so I'm pretty impressed with that. Oh my gosh, this is slow. I don't know if we just leave it in drive. Take it around this bend here. See, this is where this car shines. This is where this car is really fun at, is these corners. Even for being a front wheel drive car, this thing handles like a dream. And the seats really hold you in tight and bolster you. Alright, so for the BC coilovers on roads like this where it gets like really bumpy, they do not feel all that great. They are a budget coilover, and even with the dampening set to pretty soft, it's still very bouncy. Another weird thing with this car, the blinker indicator, like the sound for it, just stopped working out of nowhere. It doesn't click, 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 click. It's just gone. That VTEC kick over at around 4,500 RPMs. Alrighty guys, so wrapping up the drive with TSX. You don't need straight line fast car to have fun, and I think that's what this is. This thing is not fast in a straight line, as I've said, but through the corners and through the turns, this thing rips, handles like a dream. There's like zero body roll on it. Even for a front wheel drive car, I don't feel much understeer. There's a little bit, but especially when it gets slick out. But for right now, I think it's fine. Alrighty guys, so wrapping up my thoughts on the TSX. Even though I got rid of this car, I still love this car. It is so much fun to drive still. Even though it's not fast in a straight line, through the turns, it handles like a dream. I think it looks pretty badass, to be honest. Even if it weren't in this satin black color, I've seen a lot of CU2s done, like, modded very well. So if you're looking for a car that's kind of cheap, luxurious, and you can mod to have, you know, pretty fun handling daily, I would recommend this car a lot. So I just want to thank everybody for watching. See you guys in the next video.